So Eddie Howe's just held his weekly press conference down here at Benton. Newcastle United facing Bournemouth on Sunday afternoon in a game that Newcastle be looking to continue their winning start after the game against Southampton. And not too many questions in there about the Cherries, not too many questions about Newcastle start the season. It was all pretty much centred around one thing and one thing only, which is the Kieran Trippier situation, which has been all over the press this week. Newcastle, the captain being linked with a move away from Newcastle. He's been linked with Everton. Bayern Munich have been thrown back into the mix with some newspapers, and really for Eddie Howe, he had to basically deal with all that. But Eddie Howe basically saying he was completely mystified by it, surprised by the stories, said that he wants to keep Kieran Trippier at Newcastle. Of course, there's competition for places, but Kieran Trippier this week playing for the reserves, and Eddie Howe basically saying he wants to keep him. So there was a lot to be discussed in there about that. And Eddie Howe basically saying that, you know, in terms of transfers income, and he's a step removed from it, which I personally found a little bit surprising, because he's the head coach. He's should be the head of the chain. In the past, he's spoken about being the, you know, really needing a final say on transfers. That doesn't seem to be the case from where I'm looking at the moment. It seems to be Eddie Howe's the head coach, and he's in charge of the coaches basically, and recruitment now is dealt with elsewhere. And basically in there, he was pretty much admitting that, saying that. I mean, the most striking thing that he said was the fact that he wasn't getting regular updates, which I found a very noteworthy quote in that press conference. So a very interesting situation. There is only a week left of the window. Eddie Howe basically admitting difficulties in terms of what has been a summer of change at Newcastle United, and now, you know, they're facing a tough week. I asked him if it was a pivotal week already, one game in. Is this a pivotal week? And he pretty much, you know, he had a laugh about it, but he also, you know, admitted that it was pretty much, because Newcastle have got the Carabao Cup game against Nottingham Forest. Victory there would see them through the third round. But, you know, getting Premier League opposition so early in the competition, when there were so many smaller teams and, you know, less daunting draws, Newcastle pretty much got the toughest draw they could hope for. So Bournemouth, then Nottingham Forest, and Newcastle must set the tone in those two games if they can get through, and then it'll be the finale of the transfer window. So a huge few days ahead for Newcastle, there's no doubt on that. And Eddie Howe, I think his mood, I wouldn't say it was anxious, but it was certainly a face of concern looking back at the press today. And I think really he'll now want to get everything sorted. He'll probably be glad to see the window shut, if I'm to be totally honest. But that's what's been happening down here this morning, and yeah, we'll keep an eye on those transfers.